Each week, American History TV's American Artifacts takes viewers behind the scenes at archives, museums, and historic sites. Here's a featured extra from a recent program.
My name is Ron Hyde. I'm a volunteer docent here at the Barracks Civil War Museum, and proudly so for the past 10 years. The museum is loaded with artifacts. We have several rooms that are completely furnished with artifacts, most of which are original. In addition to that, I generally bring my own small collection of arms and Civil War artifacts, and I have some of them here. A saber here that would be a dress saber. In other words, used by an officer in a parade or something of that nature. Probably not too good for the battlefield. Here is a cannonball, several and miscellaneous slugs, all made of lead. This is a reproduction. This is not. The white crust on it is oxidation that the lead goes through after 150 years of waiting around for us to display it. This is what would be called grape shot. Several handfuls of grape shot would be put down a cannon and used for close quarters anti-personnel. Very deadly. Would mow down a group of soldiers attacking like wheat before the reaper. This is a Colt revolver here. It's a model 1860. Black powder, and it was the weapon of choice for a Union officer. Each officer would be assigned, issued a weapon like this if he didn't have one. You could load 6 rounds at a time, the black powder, and the round slug would go down that hole, for example, and then it would be tamped in by a built-in ramrod. Very efficient, then you're ready to shoot 6 times. Here we have a rifle. This is a Springfield. This item was manufactured in 1864 as a muzzle loading, what they call cap and ball black powder rifle. In 1866, it was converted to take a shell. Something like this. This would be a bayonet, which would go on the end of a rifle and used like a sword, like a spear. The average soldier hated them because they were very, very brutal. You have a 10 or 11 pound rifle, you put your bayonet on the end, and you have a formidable weapon close up, but very unpopular with the man in the field.
Unpopular, why?
Because they're so brutal.
They didn't like to use them?
Didn't like to use them. They were usually very fatal, and they were very close when they used them. For example, like this, you were just a foot, 2 feet away from your victim. And he generally went down in a lot of pain and with a mortal wound. Very unpopular. The Civil War was a rich man's war, but a poor man's fight. And it was never so true as when you're using a bayonet.
We in the East don't think about people out here in California having Civil War locations and being interested. Obviously, you all are. What's the big misunderstanding we have out in the East about California Civil War interest?
Well, the misnomer is that California wasn't even in the war. They didn't understand that California financed the war. We sent gold from the Central California gold fields to the Union, to the north, and kept the economy of the war going. The war was very expensive. It cost at the end $1 million or $1.5 million a day per Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln said this. and much of the cost of the war was borne by California gold. And then there were rich resources in volunteers. California had a quota to provide so many soldiers to the war effort, and they more than met their quota.
All these things you have here, where do you acquire these things?
A lot of things are available online, eBay, or just from private parties. The Colt I purchased from a private party. I got the saber off of eBay. Got this item here at a garage sale. This is a mini ball. It has the classic shape, the hollow back end, the three compression rings, and that tells me it was probably a northern mini ball. But in addition to that, this particular one has the striations here and here, if you can see them. And that tells me that this was loaded into a muzzle loading rifle. And the rifling in the inside of the barrel made the striations. But beyond that, the front end of the mini ball has been hollowed out, and if you look very carefully, you can see that it's threaded. So what that tells me is that it was loaded in the muzzle loader, but not fired. And to retrieve it, the soldier took out his ramrod, put a corkscrew on the end of it, jammed it down the barrel, and twisted it several times to catch the slug, and pulled it out. And he had at that point the ramrod with the ejected slug at the end, called a pulled bullet. And why would they do that? Well, maybe it was a misfire. Maybe the soldier forgot to put black powder in, or he put wet black powder, or something happened, or maybe he came to the end of his picket duty. It was midnight, he'd been relieved, he had a loaded musket, didn't want to wake up the camp by firing it, so he retrieved it with the ramrod. Just speculation, but who knows. Also, there's lots of speculation as to what happened here. Did it bring down a horse at full gallop? That's what I tell the kids, but they don't believe me. And interesting to look back and try to come up with a story that fits the artifact. When I come to do my docent chore, I usually come in period dress like this and wear my hat. And one of the nice parts about the hat is there's so much room for storage. I always carry a couple of aces in case I get into a loaded game on a gambling ship. I also am really ready in case I find that steamboat gambling ship. If I want to send a postcard home, I have one. Send that on home. If I'm feeling kind of sick, then I brought my nurse with me. She does well, especially in a confined space. I'm still looking for the door that I can use that key on. Haven't found it yet, but I keep looking. And this is just in case I ever grow my hair back. I'll be needing that. And finally, I have a map to get myself off the Manassas battlefield.
Do you think people actually did use their hats like storage?
Oh yeah. Abraham Lincoln was said to have carried the draft of the Gettysburg Address in his top hat. And it took him quite a while to write the speech, several days at least, and it was a compilation of earlier speeches to a certain degree. So he must have had the piece of paper and gone back and chosen bits and pieces of earlier orations, which came up with the famous Gettysburg Address.
So you say this is a period hat. How do you know that this was something people wore back then?
Well, just look.